Hello. Is this working now? I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know how to stream. I don't know how to stream. I think I did it right. Talking to nobody. I'm streaming to 0 viewers. Good. Okay. Okay. It's invisible. Ooh, okay. Weird. Oh, because it's flat. I have one viewer. I can see you. Because it says 1. I know you're there. Okay. Oh yeah, I need to go in here. No, he got scared. My one viewer disappeared. I shouldn't have called him out. This is wrong. It should be import. I guess they shouldn't be radio items. Set. Add item. Yeah, that's a terrible idea. I don't know how to write this code. How did I do it here? I have to construct this list in like 2 phases. I think that's what I did here. This doesn't make sense. I don't know what I'm doing. This doesn't make sense. get it. I know how to do it. Now how do I do this? Okay, I changed my mind. Let's just do it in 2 phases. I have no idea how that's supposed to work yet. So I'm commenting it out. Okay, is that good enough? I think this makes sense, what I've done. Doesn't compile, but other than that, it's perfect. What's it complaining about here? Oh, right. These don't need to be, this doesn't need to be sorted. Some list items, pushback. So, doesn't do anything yet. Okay. Oh, I see. Piss! That's right. You are correct, sir. Or madam. Oh, it's working. There we go. No, it still doesn't switch, actually. Type? Okay. Why not? Why does this not do it? Item list rebuild. Oh, what am I doing? That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. What I need to do is rebuild flag equals true, and then move this to nowhere. Just delete it. And now this will work. Aha, there we go. Right. Is this sort by type? Oh, it's not even sorting by type. I don't know what it's doing. It's, What is this doing? Make item folder. What is this doing? Sort. Here we go. Folder path. That should be right. How odd. The new FL Studio, yeah, it would be the one that the one that everyone pirates, all the teenagers. I think FL Studio was the first one I used. I can't remember now. FL Studio 3.4 or whatever it was. I remember I used it when it was still called Fruity Loops. What is going on here? It's not sorting correctly. Oh, I didn't sort the list. That's why. I just have a list and it's called sorted items, but it's not actually sorted. Okay. Great job. Well, not really doing a great job right now. I'm trying. Trying my best. Begin. Sort item list. There we go. Now it will actually be sorted, hopefully. Yes, this is working. Not sure I like the colouring, but no, I won't worry about that yet. So this is by file. I don't understand what I'm seeing. This is basically I'm writing a system so that you can export things. So if you have like a block like this on the workspace with all of this modulation data, at the moment you can export the block as an audio file only. So you lose all of your so it's a destructive export basically. So I'm adding an option to export things as object files, which basically it's basically the same format as the project file, but you can export if you select object, you can export this block and it will keep all of the modulation data and it will just encode it as a JSON file. And if there's a sample associated with it, then it will include the sample data as well. So that part is working so far, but now I need to create some kind of dialog to import stuff from these files. So that's what I'm working on at the moment, the import dialog. So I'm about 50-60% done with this. So on the left, I have these .blocked files. The files these are actually project files. So I've added these two project files to this left-hand list, and Blockhead is automatically opening up these project files and looking inside of them to see the contents of the project files. So you can see that this first project file has 2 blocks inside it, 1 sample, 1 track, 3 workspaces. This second project file is a bit bigger because it has 5 blocks, all these samples, 3 tracks, 3 workspaces. but it dumps it all into this middle panel. And then the idea will be you can look through these items. In an ideal world, they would be like properly named because the user would have given them proper names when they were exporting. But you can look through this list and then you can like drag them into this panel, which doesn't do anything yet because I haven't set it up. And then you click import and it will import all of that stuff into your current project. So it should be pretty interesting. I'm not sure, is there any other music software that lets you do that kind of thing? Like non-destructively export objects with like automation data and stuff and then import it into other projects. I don't know. I think that maybe the closest thing is like plugin presets. Do you have any plans for MIDI? Yes. MIDI programming with VSTs eventually. I usually make orchestral music with Contact Opus Sign Player. Yeah, VST support is probably not going to happen for a while. In fact, I would probably I have a feeling I would add clap support before I go for VST support. But VSTs it's on the horizon. But yeah, the thing I always say is I'm just one person and not a company. So I have a lot of work to do before I get to the position of being able to add VST support. Yeah, MIDI support will come. Yeah, I think that's like the two most common things people ask is MIDI and VST, and the answer is simply yes. But those are two like really it's really easy to say, oh, will you add MIDI support or will you add VST support in a sort of a hand wavy way, but those are really really big and complicated areas. Well, MIDI mostly is a really like complex. What layers of apps accessibility does Blockhead have? I remember it was on your Patreon somewhere, but do you have a plan on pricing or where people could download it? Is that two separate questions, like accessibility and then pricing, or is that, if it's the same question, then I don't understand it. Accessibility and if you're asking, I don't know, I don't understand the question. I remember it was but do you have a plan on pricing or where people could download it? I don't know what I don't understand the question. Generally, as in where people get it from. The only place you can get it right now is my Patreon page. Unless you pirate it. It's pretty easy to pirate it as well. If you just search for Blockhead on Google, it's pretty easy to are you talking about like in the future, like when it's actually a real product? Because that's something that people ask about sometimes. In which case my answer is I don't really have any plans other than technical plans. Like on the business side of things, I don't know what I'm doing. What I would here are my statements. I don't like subscription models for software. So if you're worried about subscription model, because I think everyone hates subscription models. Personally, I don't like subscription models. I prefer paying one time to buy a product. What I would do is if I decide on a price for Blockhead, like a one-off payment, like 50 quid or something like that, I would say anybody who has already donated at least that amount via Patreon would just get access to the software. I'll just give them. So that's one of the things that I would probably want to do. Writing weather code for DAW on its own must be incredibly challenging. Yes, it will be truly revolutionary. I like rent to own thing. So you like what's the Is there a difference between rent to own and a subscription model? Is that the same thing? See, I'm just clueless when it comes to business side of things. Uh, yeah, I try to make it clear that I'm just a guy and I don't really know what I'm doing, other than um, programming. Like the only thing I understand in the world is computer programming, which is a bit of a issue. I'm trying to get better at speaking as well. That's going to be my second skill, is being able to say actual sentences that make sense. Yeah, I don't know if I answered your questions satisfactorily or not. You're not going to have to pay forever with the rent to own. It's just full price. Oh, I think I know what you mean. Yeah. So it's like when a product is like 50 quid, you could rent it for um like £10 a month up until for 5 months, and then you just have it. I think I actually did that with oh yeah, there's a synth called Serum that I did that with. I rented it for like 2 months and I was like, actually I don't like this, and I just stopped, which is kind of cool. Um, yeah, I guess I could. It's better than subscription models. Yeah, yeah, it makes sense actually, doesn't it? I also did that with my mattress when I bought my mattress. Uh, okay. Actually, well, I don't think the mattress counts. I don't think they would have accepted if I decided I didn't want the mattress. I don't think that I could have given it back. Anyway, right. What was I doing? Is this all working now? The first two lists on this dialog I think are working. Sort by type. Hey, this is all working. That's cool. The selection. Flat view. The colors are a bit confusing, but I think that's a bit awkward for me to. Well, I just can't be bothered to fix that. This project is really important. I'm supporting the fuck out of it. Thank you. Will we be able to use external VSTs on it in the future? Yes, but in the far future. VSTs is like a big um, thing to. It's just a big, large, complicated area to figure out. And there's other more interesting things that I want to do before VSTs. Hopefully this year I'll be adding another new feature that I can post videos of online, and it will hopefully go viral, because it's like a really bonkers feature that like sometimes I get this question like am I worried about like big companies just looking at what I'm doing and stealing the ideas, and like bigger companies with all this money and resources, they can just like copy what I'm doing, and the reason I'm not that worried about that is because for every one idea that somebody could steal, I have like 10 more in my head that I haven't told anyone about. So I'm keeping something a secret that hopefully I'll get to start working on later this year. I think it'll be really interesting, and it might be another one. It's like more weird than anything else in Blockhead so far. It's to do with it's basically a new modulation option, but also more than that. It's a new, yeah, mainly modulation related, but it'll be really weird. I think people will be excited when they see that. Right, what do I want to do now? I want to make it so that this button is enabled when you select at least one thing. Sounds great. Yeah, I shouldn't actually. I always find it really annoying when people have secrets and they like give little hints. I should not do that if I don't want to be a hypocrite. Like, oh yeah, I got such an amazing idea, and I'm not gonna tell you what it is. Shut the fuck up. Right. Item list. I need to implement on selection changed. Let's copy what I did here. Exactly. Alright, that's all I wanted. It's not going to do anything yet. Alright, I need to stop procrastinating and actually implement this third thing. Okay, so import list. I actually don't know. How I want to do this. Added items. I think I'll just copy this. And then resolve the copy pastage later. So more on item is so these, oh, hold on. I will explain. I have a special list control which I use for the file system and the sample browser. And the block browser as well. So it's this control here. And it's also used in the export dialog for this list and this list. and the import dialog 3 times. So the name of that control is a moron list, just because sometimes I can't be bothered to think of a good name for something, and so I'll just pick a random word. So I pick the word moron. So I have this moron prefix in front of all of these data structures because it's all in reference to this type of list that I made called a moron list. Yes. So this is the moron. This is the front end, and then all of the implementation in here. So it's all moron, moron, moron. But it's just a random word. I do that. That's pretty good. Well, I don't know if it's a good idea actually, but it's a technique I use a lot when I cannot think of a name for something. I'll just pick a random like gibberish word. I have that all over the place. Like for example, I have, where is it? Oh yeah, I have this whole namespace called FazX. It's this really really large and complex namespace in the Blockhead code base, and the I can't describe what it is. I can't. There's no word in the English language which describes what the responsibilities of this thing are. So I just came up with a gibberish word, and once you hit, like sometimes when you're starting to work on something and you get really stuck on, well, my experience is you get really stuck on like trying to think of the name for the thing, and I find that the best way to get past that and so that you can actually move forwards is to just pick a random gibberish word and just say, okay, that's what I'm going to call this thing, so that you can actually move forward. Hey, it's my man, the guy. It's MVC_DMN_CH. My best friend in the whole world. How are you? Okay, I'm getting completely distracted by my lovely stream chat here. What was I doing? Yes, okay, this tree. Okay, let's bring this shit back. This will be sorted items. Sampling. If you're sampling my voice from the stream, then please do not send me the result. Somebody did that once, and because I still hate the sound of my own voice, so I don't want to hear it. But you're welcome to. What's happening here? Import list matches. Okay. Sorted item. Okay, good. Here's there's a sample that you can use. Item is what? Oh, right. Store selection does what? Okay. Do you have a favourite DAW other than Blockhead? Yes, Renoise is my DAW of choice, although I haven't made any music for about 4 years. I stopped making music when I started working on Blockhead. That's the main reason I'm working on Blockhead, is I want to get back to making music again. So I'll make music eventually when Blockhead's done in 20 years. Yeah, Blockhead is just renoise, but turned like 90 degrees. Just turn the interface 90 degrees, it's renoise. Don't tell anyone. I think I have a suspicion that a lot of people a lot of people who like are sort of like really impressed by the workflow in Blockhead. They've just not had experience using trackers, and they don't realize that a lot of it actually, at like a really basic or fundamental level, it's sort of borrowed from tracker world. Creating a door just to make music, yeah, it's a good reason. Okay, I need some way to add things to the list. So, oh yeah, bring this thing back, whatever this is. Store selection. Generate import list. Let's just copy this for now. It's gonna have to do something different, but I can't visualize yet how the sorting is going to work on the final list. I have to actually see it before I can visualize it. Interfaces of today's doors are quite complex. The only door where I could fully customize the interface was Reaper. Yeah, I haven't got into Reaper that much, but as I understand it, it's like really scriptable and stuff. So you can do loads of stuff. What's my temporary code? How much of your time is spent messing with Godot stuff compared to C++? I don't know. I'm not sure. There's two parts to the Godot stuff. There's like designing interfaces using the editor, which I don't always do because you can do it all programmatically as well. And then there's interacting with the Godot C++ bindings layer, which, because I'm using Godot 3, it's this thing called GD native. So basically, anytime I'm working on anything to do with interface, like UI, I'm either working in the editor here, which is not that common. It's like 5% of 1% of the time or something. Or I'm working with GD native in C++. So I'm working on Godot and C++ at the same time. Whether it be a custom script support in Blockhead, perhaps you could speed up the development process as well. I can technically, because I'm using the Godot engine, I can very easily add scripting support in the form of GD script. I actually did experiments with that in the past, and it was really easy. And I can also support allowing people to create custom controls using the Godot editor, and then like at runtime bring that into Blockhead as like a custom interface. If it's like, so I could theoretically in the future I could update Blockhead's plugin system to allow people to add their own UI elements that they've created using the Godot editor. That's all possible. I did some experiments with that in the past just to check if it's possible, and it is. So you can like create a custom interface using Godot with your own custom scripts, and theoretically have Blockhead load it up in some way and do that kind of thing. Yeah, at the moment the Blockhead's plugin system is like so early in development that I sort of keep it under wraps a little bit and don't tell people about it. But it's GitHub. This is the plugin system in its current form, but it's going to keep on changing. As Blockhead grows, it's going to keep changing. But if I was going to add some kind of like custom scripting support, it might end up on this. I don't know. Gotta go. Cheers. Bye bye. Have a good one. I love you. Okay. If you are creating a plugin / blink, the front end of that be customizable with Godot UI nodes GD script. I think I understand what you're asking. At the moment, no. In the future, theoretically, maybe. It depends like what I will decide to do in the future. So at the moment, the way that the plugin system works is it's just this declarative system where, like this, for example. So this is backed by a sampler plugin called Classic, which just exists. It exists in the Blockhead directory, in this directory called Blink. So somewhere in here, there's a sampler Classic. So this is what's controlling this block. It's this plugin here. And quite a lot of work is actually offloaded to the plugins. So basically, the plugin is declaring to the host that it has, for example, a slider called amp and a slider called pitch, for example, or a slider called pan, and it's declaring that it has this envelope and all of the properties of the envelope, and a toggle called reverse, for example. But it doesn't say anything about how to display these controls on the interface. That's all generated by the host. It's kind of like when you can have like VST effects, VSTs with no interface, and the host will just generate an interface. Usually it's just like a list of sliders. So this is doing the same thing. All of the interface is just generated by the host. So if I was going to create some system where the plugins can have custom interface, then I would use Godot and GDScript to do it. I would make it so that people can design Godot nodes and Blockhead would load them at runtime. But that's if I decided to do it that way. I don't know. That might be too... I mean, at that point, I feel like people just prefer to make VSTs. So people would just prefer... I mean, I don't know. It is very... I hate talking about like things that are going to be like 15 years down the line. I have no idea. Things are not moving quickly enough to have these kinds of discussions, really. So anything I say now about that kind of stuff should not be taken as any kind of definitive statement about what I'm going to do, because I have no idea. What was I doing? Okay. Right. On add button pressed and remove button pressed. Promise to never rewrite in Rust. I promise. I don't know why you're asking that, but I can tell you I will definitely not be doing that. That's like, I bet I know why you're asking that. Is that you've probably been following some project, and at some point the developer's like, I'm gonna throw everything I've done away and rewrite it in Rust because I really like Rust now. I think that's not an uncommon thing. Tree. Okay. Where should I implement that? Up here. Okay. Compressed. So add selected items to import list. Oh, okay. How did I do it here? Like this. Ah. to import list item ID. So it's going to be tree item list, get filter selected items, just have to run to the bathroom. Okay. Renoise is too much for you. Nah. It looks overwhelming when you first see the interface. But once you start using it, I don't know, I was about to give a prediction then on how long it would take to get into it, but I actually can't remember because I started using Renoise when I was like 15 or something. I don't remember how long it took. I seem to remember it was pretty quick, like getting to grips with it. And once I understood how it works, I was like, what this, why doesn't every door work like this? This is like so much better. Item IDs from selection. How does this work? Oh, this should be simple. Yeah. I just yawned and now I yawned and my ears popped and now everything sounds strange. I don't like it. I want everything to go back to the way it was. Everything sounds weird. IDs, pushback. Item list, items, index, ID. I think that's it. Yeah, this is not set up properly at the moment. Let me just, how did I do it on this one? Export list. I just have added items. But then I also have this. Okay. Okay, then we go the opposite way around, which is import list. Okay. Add to import list. Import list. Items. So this should be added items. And then I can just refer back to this instead. Does that make sense? It kind of does. Or I can just simply add the item. Right, this is an item ID. So I have to go from item ID to index and then use that. I'm sure this is not right. There's definitely a better way of doing this. So go like that to get the index. And then I go like that. And then I push back that. And then I say rebuild. It's just a stupid way of doing it. Oh, that's also wrong. It should be sorted items. Okay, I'm starting to understand. Things are becoming more clear now. Yes. I'm beginning to believe. No, things are getting muddier again. Things were starting to get clearer, and now they're getting worse. This is the kind of thing where streaming makes it more difficult, or streaming or recording a video. This is usually the kind of thing where I would turn the video off so that I can think straight. Alright, let's try something different. What does that break down here? List index. Item index. That doesn't make sense either. I still need this. I think this is a bunch of nonsense what I've written here. I'm just going to see what happens and then probably stop streaming so that I can concentrate properly. It's interesting having a stream running in the background. Really is like this just as this slight layer of distraction. I can't really think through these problems properly. So I do need this. Let's just disable that for now while I figure out what's happening. Oh, that's not going to work either. So I do need this. Generate list map for what purpose? For restoring selections. I think that's all it's used for. Items, but this doesn't exist either. Should just be called items, I suppose. Which is also not going to work. So this doesn't make sense what I've done here. Okay. This doesn't make any sense. I should just get rid of this because it doesn't make sense. And do this in some other way later. Store selection. Okay, I have no idea what's going to happen here. I'm not expecting anything good to happen. So if I select these, add, well, it just crashes, which is probably as good a result as I could have expected. So it's sorted out. Well, I don't have sorted items. Item list sorted items. What's going on here? That's interesting, actually. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. This is definitely the kind of thing I should be working on offline. I thought I was just going to be working on like UI things, which are pretty easy to reason about. So that's why I started streaming. Okay, what happens? Item list? What is this? I don't understand. What? Oh, this one. Sorted items 16. Oh, did I accidentally clear the wrong thing? Yes, I did. Okay, I still don't think this is going to work though. Once I actually see this working, I can rewrite it properly. Okay, that did actually work. So that much at least works. And I can drag it there as well, can I? No. Because I didn't make that do anything yet. Okay. This is definitely not going to work. Well, the button isn't enabled yet. Alright, I made a little bit of progress. The code is not written properly yet. I just wanted to... I just wanted to sort of brute force some progress on this final list so that I could visualize things a little bit. Okay, I'm going to do more work offline because streaming is too distracting for the kind of thing that I'm about to be working on. I thought I'd just be doing, if it was just like little UI things, which is what I started off the stream doing, then it's okay to have a stream on in the background, but there's like this feeling of anxiety that hangs over you a little bit when you have a stream running. Alright, bye bye. Oh no, it's not ended. End. There we go.